Fear the Wild with Matt Becker, John Norris, and Greg Chaille.
Hello?
Matt Becker, good day, sir.
Good day, sir. You should never send that kind of clickbait. God
That's a good one, right?
stuff.
Who was that? That was Billy Bob, wasn't it?
Oh, my. Hysterical. No fun. Oh, my God.
Was it Billy Bob
It's just,
something, right? What was it? I forgot what I sent you. It was
Bob Briggs.
Yeah, Joe Bob Briggs with God
Billy
stuff.
Bob Briggs?
Joe Bob Briggs. Yeah. I'll put the link in the show notes. But hello, John. How are you?
Hey.
Hey, John Norris is joining us this week.
Hello. I feel like a special guest.
Yes. I hope we can handle 3 people at one time here, Becker, but we'll see how it goes. All right. Well, we just got here, and this place is. I'm hoping that the internet holds out. I don't have much hope, but we'll see how it goes. We're in Pensacola, Florida.
You were poolside, right?
No, I was gonna, but then, cause it looked like we'll do it by the pool. Cause last week we were there by the, in the car, in the parking lot of the La Quinta, and I still got their, internet connection. But, we're in a situation where there's a little bit more spread out. And I go, well, I'll go by the pool. We'll have some of the ambient noise. That didn't hurt last time. We had the airplanes flying over and the birds. But, they've got a, piped in music, and, all of the furniture is soaking wet because it just rained. So I had to jump into the room. So we're in the room. I'm in the room. You're with me in the room.
It's too bad we couldn't plan around a hurricane. It'd be great to have you out there like one of those weather reporters.
holding the mic forward as let me see if I can get the sound.
There's a big gust right there.
Yeah, there is something coming our way, but I think everyone's more worried about the next...
Yeah, Puerto Rico's coming your way. If Ricky Martin flies by your window, leave.
Yeah.
I love that. They told Puerto Ricans, they go, leave or die. That's their choices.
That was it.
I go, they obviously couldn't leave or they wouldn't be in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. It's like a trick question. Yeah, that's what your militant neighbor says to get you off their property. Leave or die. Not what the president of your country or whatever says to help his citizens get prepared for another blast.
Well, he keeps doing these organized press conferences talking about the disaster coming, and then the American papers all lead with bankrupt country about to get hit with another hurricane.
Yeah. Truth hurts.
They lead with their financial notes.
Have either of you ever been to Puerto Rico? I'm confused about what it means that they're a territory of the U.S.
I have been there. What we did is we basically bailed out of debt once, and then we kept it.
But when they go to debt again, we're like, you're on your own.
We did it with Guam. But they want to run independent. Remember, they always want to vote to become a state, and they vote us down. And they literally, the last time they voted, they would have got Social Security, everything from us.
Well, they would probably fall under the blanket protection of FEMA as well, which Guam does. Guam definitely falls under the protection of FEMA.
Oh, trust me, we're getting milked on this one too. But the point is we need to do it like Detroit. Just kick everybody out and then rebuild it and then move Americans there. And then you wouldn't have this problem. It's the Puerto Ricans that have ruined Puerto Rico.
Well, I've never been there, so I don't know. Yeah, it looks like this the one that's tracking right now. Is it Maria? I think that's the one. Whatever one that's headed straight for Puerto Rico. It looks like it's going to veer off and go over to it's going to go up along the coast, like through the Atlantic. It's not even going to get over to where we're at right now. So,
but it is a Category 5, which is I don't know if you And then Mexico had another earthquake.
Yeah, it's it's biblical shit, right? I guess.
It's a big couple of weeks for natural disasters.
No, but see, that's the thing. Are we going to die from nukes or are we going to die from nature? Nature nukes. It goes back and forth. You can't guess. It's almost like that fight.
Yeah, in the 70s, it was smog, the crying Indian, and the nuclear threat from Russia, and we're kind of right back, kind of in that same area, that arena.
I don't hear anybody complaining about the way God's treating us. I mean, they go, I mean, it's like the cops are bad, but God has been just kicking our ass. It's like, hey, Joel Osteen, why don't you try to get some of those checks to clear?
Yeah, we started off in last week when we spoke. We had started off in Dallas and drove over and did Houston. No real. I mean, I'm sure there were areas that were really devastated and stuff, and been a week or two, but everyone's doing fine from what we saw. We had nice crowds.
But Greg, we've driven through that southern route many a time, both of us individually and even together at times. And, it pretty much looks like a disaster all the time.
Well, it's interesting you say that because our low water mark, so to speak. Sorry, that's probably not our yardstick by which we measure is Flint. This looks bad, but it's no Flint, Michigan. You
got a ways to go.
Yeah, I mean, come on. The people got it worse than you. That's the Flint.
So you guys were in Houston, and everybody there was like, "You guys were just in Flint." Oof, sorry.
Yeah.
Tough time.
No, we got some posters made in Dallas, and I remember we got 2 posters for the tour. Really quickly, we had Brett Brock do another one where it basically says Hurricane Alley, Texas to Florida, and it's Brendan Walsh, Doug, Tracy, and I, and we're up to our chins in water. We're just floating with the brick wall behind us. It's like we're at the gig. And I thought, maybe I'm sending this to a local printer in Dallas. Maybe this is in bad taste. And of course, the lady who answers sounds like she's 60 and it's like, I'll check the internet machine for the order. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to upset anyone. And when I go there the next day to pick it up, the posters, the owner was there. They were, you got a show in town. And it was, they were really nice. And I go, well, we're passing through. We're, heading basically the opposite path of the hurricanes. We're heading down all the way down to West Palm over the next 12 days. And he's like, wow. Well, yeah, we're doing all right. We'll be fine. We'll bounce back. Don't believe what the news says. And I thought that was a very positive thing. And that's all we've seen is, people being very positive. And we're not down on the water or anything, but we're not seeing, the total devastation. I'm sure it's there. I mean, I'm sure people are affected by it, but nothing's canceled. Jacksonville canceled. The venue canceled, but we just found a place that's a little bit higher, higher than sea level. And it only took, a day or two. It wasn't a thing where, anyway.
You should do a show on a Ferris wheel. That'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Move it up.
Just Doug stands in the center.
Yeah. So
maybe you guys should rent a hot air balloon and just float over the area.
That's funny. John, you just said hot air balloon. I was just talking to my brother because, Tracy and I, after the West Palm show on the 27th, we're going to head up to Orlando and, hopefully take advantage of some deals up there, getting the tourism back. But, my brother said they built a new area down in Disneyland. It used to be called, Downtown Disney about 15 years ago. And they raised that whole area. And now it's kind of like City Walk and Universal. So there's like a lot of different commerce and stuff. But he says there's also a hot air balloon that's tethered. It never lets go. But you go up in a hot air balloon up above everything, and then they just winch you back down.
There's a hurricane coming. You know that, right?
I know. But I mean, imagine the view. I mean, it'd be pretty awesome. And then you're up above the parks and everything, and you're up higher than everything else.
Every time you go to one of those outdoor festivals, that one balloon that's floating away. Yeah, that kid was holding on to it too.
Yeah, that was tethered. But I mean, that's what they used to do back in the fucking Middle Ages or whenever they came up with the hot air balloon idea. They would go up and they'd always bring them back down until that one day, Do
you see that flying thing they got now, where the guy just stands on the little pad and flies? It's like one of those boards you used to use for Wii.
Wait, you're talking about the big fan and it's like you're skydiving?
No, it looks like a hoverboard, and he's flying with it, and I couldn't tell if it was real or not. Supposedly, it's real.
You're not talking about the Tony Hawk one. Because Tony Hawk
is that it?
No, some skater did it, but they did it behind the scenes on YouTube, and it was like they had magnets. I think it's like a lenticular thing, or no, that's not it. That's not it at all. It's a thing where where the magnets, and then the stuff has to be like super chilled, like minus 300 degrees or something. So it looks like he's at a skate park, but it's all done. John, you know what I'm talking about? Did you see that?
Flyboard. It's called Flyboard. Look up Flyboard.
I used to have a Google alert for hoverboards, but no longer.
Yeah,
Flyboard?
Yeah, Flyboard Air. Supposedly it's real.
Let's get our millennial on it.
They have a rental center. You don't need a license
to ride a hoverboard.
I found a guy in a T-Rex suit on it. Oh, is it one of those like? So it's just one of the things in the water where it just like uses it like shoots the water out to lift up whoever's standing on it.
I don't remember.
But they got.
Wait a minute! You didn't say anything about water. You said a hoverboard.
Yeah, it's a hoverboard that runs off of water pressure.
Oh, okay. It
flies you around like you're on a string, but
yeah, that's not at all what I was thinking.
And there's like a new update. It's from like a French company. Do I trust French in my hoverboarding? I don't know.
I know, but it looks. I mean, they showed him landing on a pad. He was testing it, but I can't tell if it's real or not. I mean, ever since I called the on what was it? Kickstarter there, they had a umbrella supposedly this Japanese guy was going to make, and it blows air out of the top, so it keeps you from getting wet.
So it blows the raindrops away from you?
Yeah, so it's just an airfield that you walk around and it keeps you dry.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, sounds great, doesn't it? Yeah, it turns out it doesn't.
That's what a normal umbrella does, but way more complicated.
1,100 people later, they want their money back. Oh, and the other one that was a great scam too was the underwater breather. Did you ever see that one?
Underwater.
It was the device that made oxygen. So you jump in, and it's 2 tubes on the side of your face. So it's like a mouthpiece for snorkeling, but 2 tubes on both sides. So there's nothing else to it. And you jump in, and this creates oxygen, so you can swim for like 20 minutes underwater.
Rebreathing your original breath of air?
Yeah, it basically makes oxygen out of the water.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
1,200 people later, for $750, they now want their money back. And the guy goes, due to Chinese holiday, production slow down, no help, please be patient. And then finally they're just like, give us our money back. But nobody gets with this stuff. Is once you give them the money, it's hard to get it back.
Yeah, especially international.
I feel like they should just say, hey, you're paying for our research and development to see if this is even possible.
Well, remember the juicer? The juicer was a great one, too, where we sell you a juice box with a $800 push pin.
What?
Do you remember the juicer? It was famous for it was an $800 juicer, and then it came with special containers, and it squeezed it out, but it made it better than anything else. But you had to buy it like the coffee containers. Don't use any other ones. Just use ours.
Yeah. And
they were like $50 for 4 for juice. It's like, and they said this is where you realize the end of the world might be coming because people are jumping in line going, I have one. Don't you have one? And then,
that thing existed at least. Unlike the oxygenating water system that would just kill you.
That one got all the way to the point where then I think it was Wall Street Journal took it and just squeezed the juice into a cup and said it actually doesn't matter if you put it through it or not.
Yeah.
It's just juice in a. It was a.
So it was like was it like a Keurig thing? You had to buy the little Keurig cup and then it made the best juice.
Yeah,
in the
world?
Had
to buy their cups. Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
And they just poked a hole in it.
A $700 Wi-Fi enabled juicer. It raised $120 million.
Oh my God!
No, that's what I'm telling you.
And and then it collapsed.
They went out of business last week. They were like, "Yeah, this a bad business model."
Fucking $120 million raised for
people
nothing.
Those.
Yeah.
Go to Value Village. There's one on the shelf. We should buy that. I've heard good things about this.
Yeah.
It was in the news.
You get the secondary and tertiary markets.
I think they actually sold any.
Was it one of those things where like
no, they did.
buy
No, that was
premiums?
the problem. They sold a lot of them.
No, I think it's
Look,
so
they had to extend the refund because they had a 90-day refund or 60-day refund, and then they said we'll extend it to 120 days. And then as the story got more and more involved, that it was just a complete ripoff. Then they go, well, we'll refund indefinitely, and then they just.
Oh, okay. So they were selling something, but then they cut the price in half after a few months, and they couldn't get any stores to carry it.
Yeah,
Pete.
And then reporters were posting videos. So they have these juice packs you had to use, and people were like showing how you could just squeeze the juice out of the juice pack and you would get the same amount of juice.
If you want a refund, you had to go on Twitter to Real PT Barnum. It's verified.
Well, sometimes I see those things that come up, and I'm like, that thing's fucking cool. And then I'll go in and it'll pass the first test, like, oh, clickbait, you get it. Then you kind of, I don't know. But then there's a handful of things that I'm like, you know what? It's like that. Remember that thing that came out? It's like have all your credit cards in one credit card, and then you have that same magnetic strip, and you just.
I actually did that one. They got my money back.
Yeah,
got my money back when they put the chip in it. They said the chip's coming. It's going to make it obsolete. And I was like, I want my money back. And the guy went, we're working on it. Are you sure? And I'm like, yes. And then boop, he did it.
Well, I didn't get that one because I remember Bart, our buddy up in Anchorage, Bart, he told me, he goes, no, hold on. And he explained like something that I didn't catch right away. So I bailed out on that one, but I had gone almost all the way to like taking the Kool-Aid. But another one I got was these, it was probably about 9 months ago. You just, it's cyclical. All of a sudden there'll be something trending. And it was a pretty slick video. A guy or a girl would be opening this like brightly colored bag and just holding it up and letting the wind fill this bag. And then they would seal it up. And then it was like this cushion that you could sit on. You could float on the water. And it was just really just a one huge, really tough trash bag. But
nylon bag.
Yeah. And I go, you know what? Doug's place, it was perfect for that up on the deck. That would be perfect, right? So
it's windy too. So you just hold it up.
Yeah, you just hold it up, right? Well, I got one of them immediately in the mail. And then the lime green one, and I tried it, and I could not get it to fucking fill up. It wasn't windy, but I wasn't going to go grab the fucking wet dry vac and do that whole thing. But then I forgot I had ordered another one, but it really just showed up like a week before we left on tour. And I'm all, who sent me this thing?
So you own two of them? You don't even know if they work?
No, I bought two at the same time, but the orange one was out of stock, but it took like 8 months. And I got this thing.
It's a nylon.
I thought someone sent it to me, like through the podcast, through Doug's podcasters. They send stuff all the time, and they don't put a note or anything, right? But I got this thing, and then I'm like, oh wait a minute, I think this is like, and I just put it up on the shelf next to the other one because I can't get it really to work. But it's like
that's where it'll be forever.
Yeah, but you get these things, and I can't I couldn't even remember if I bought that other one, and I don't even. When it gets down to just funding someone's fucking R&D, I wouldn't do that. There's no way. The thing's got.
No, but that's how I got the pancake printer.
Well, yeah.
And this purificator.
That thing was cool.
That is cool shit.
But I mean, now it is. We're at that point now where people are selling ideas and funding those ideas. But how many of those things that go through on crowdfunding and those kind of sites never see the fucking light of day, or they don't hit their mark,
Right.
But it only takes like one or two successful ones, and then everybody's like, "Hey, I have a dumb idea.
Yeah.
How about How about my pancake bot?"
Well, you know what I bought was great when it came out, and it's one of those ones you just immediately go, I want that, and it's a dog leash that's it looks like a replica of a gun, and so the dog leash comes out of the gun point.
Yeah.
So
the
when
barrel,
you walk your dog,
out of the barrel,
it looks like, but it's a clear. I put clear fish line on it, so it looks like I'm walking my dog by gunpoint. So it's very funny. But then neighbors were like, "Oh, is something wrong?" And I'm like, "No." And I realized you can't just walk around with a gun anymore.
Yeah.
Or a dog.
You better put an orange tip on that barrel.
Yeah, because trying to give me a leash law ticket and open carry.
Yeah, it's really weird. He's just following his dog, pointing a gun at him.
And now I just use it around the house, which is weird.
You would think that dog would be better behaved, you know?
Yeah, you'd think.
I'm looking at the most successful Kickstarter campaigns, and the number one is a smartwatch the whole time that raised over $20 million.
A watch?
Yeah, like a smartwatch.
What, like an Apple Watch?
Yeah.
Someone's building those in their garage?
No, I don't know how they do it, but it has 10 days of battery life, apps and stuff, and it's a smartwatch.
That's an Apple Watch.
I know someone who had one. It's not as cool as an Apple Watch, but I think it's much cheaper.
Why wouldn't you just buy the Apple Watch?
Some people don't like Apple.
All right.
I don't get it.
They like the knockoff.
Yeah. What else you got on there, John?
I mean, I go through it and look at it, and it's very funny because you find some of them, and they're interesting, and then you just weed out the bad ones from the good ones.
Oh, so one of the top ones is the world's best travel jacket, raised over $9 million.
That was by the guy who did Drinking May Easy.
All-in-one travel jacket that has a built-in neck pillow.
Yeah,
I've seen that one. It's the thing where it's like the guy. It's like a clown car for your junk that you wear, because he's got all these little things. But I would forget where stuff is, because there's a thing for your passport, then there's a thing for your eyeglasses, there's a thing for your sunglasses, there's a thing over here for your earbuds, and then that has a secret compartment that goes down here for your phone or your iPhone or iPad or whatever. And there's
where
things.
They put my bear spray?
Where's the bear spray? Where's the bear spray?
I'm constantly finding stuff in jacket pockets that I forget that I put in there.
Sure.
I'm canceling my debt.
That's what the minimum number of pockets.
Yeah. That's where the 5-pocket Levi's jeans. You still find $20. Wow, what was that?
30 have proof of car insurance? Yeah, but it's going to take a minute.
Hey, can you unzip the back?
3-foot bog, open can of beer, handcuff keys.
I did the last week. Not last week. We started the tour. The week before that, we were finishing up, and it was in Denver, and my computer was in my like a Sierra Trail backpack, and that's where I keep just about everything. And it's got one of those. It's got one of those padded slots along the back part that you can put a laptop in. And I have a Mac Air that I use, and a solid state. So went through multiple tours. The last 3 years with this computer, no problems. We're at Denver. I open up the back of the van, and my bag goes straight out, and it hit on a corner. I mean, I could basically hear the ding in the aluminum case, right? So then I go, fuck. And I pick it up, put it on the cart. And as I turn around, it fell again, right? And that's twice in one day. And it totally fucked up my computer. That I had to take it in and get it looked at, and they had to do something, right? So I said, fuck it. I got to get a new bag. And I got a bag that was built for it. And this is a company that I love, and it's Timbuktu.
I love their bags.
Yes. And I have found 2 of their messenger bags that I fucking love at thrift stores. And one of them was almost brand new.
Smelled like weed though, didn't it?
Nah, there were tampons in one of the things. I think she just didn't know how to work the bag, because it didn't even have any fuzz or anything in the Velcro, which is a good way to tell how old the bag is. But I love those bags, and I've got the one online through Amazon, but the video was great. It showed what everything was and where everything, how they designed it and everything like that. And I still don't know where the fucking shit is. There's pockets in there that I put stuff that I'm trying to only take the things I need on the road. And it's like, where's that fucking eyeglass repair kit? There's things that I couldn't imagine having a jacket and then having to know where something is really quick, especially when you're traveling.
I have one of those Glacier backpacks like that, and it's great for the plane because it's got all these different compartments, everything. But I can actually find things in there through the wall, but I can't still find where it is. Like I know it's in there. Like I can feel my keys, I just don't know where they are. And Becky's like, "Get rid of that fucking bag." I go, "Well, it would, but I don't know what's in it."
Yeah, that's the only you can feel things through the fabric, but you don't. There's stuff maybe you can't even feel through the fabric. You have to deconstruct that entire bag, Becker. You have to take it apart with a seam ripper. I'm
just gonna, we'll cut inside all the pockets so everything falls in that bottom like a purse.
You'll have to get a job at TSA just to use their X-ray machine, just to see if your bag is clean.
Hey, did you see the TSA guy in, where was it? I don't know. He found the phone bomb. Oh, in India.
So what happened?
Found a phone bomb?
It was a cell phone with plastic explosives in it, and it was wired to go, I think. And he was going to Dubai, and they nailed him when he was boarding the plane. He goes, "Well, the screen lit up, but it was weird. It didn't light up all the stuff." So he opens it, and there's plastic explosives with the wires and apparently a battery. So he was set. Everyone's laughing now, going, "Oh, our guys would be too busy fondling grandmothers to notice the cell phone."
Yeah. He put so much plastic explosives in there that it looked like it was an error on the screen.
Yeah.
There's no way it could be this bright. the infrared.
What kind of phone was it? Was it like
just a white looking cell phone?
Was he like kind of like a hipster, ironic, with like a big like 80s cell phone?
No. It looked a lot like a Samsung, the ones that exploded. No pun intended.
It seems like you would need a lot of explosive to take down a plane, but maybe not.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Once you started, it pretty much does the rest.
If you breach that the hull in any way, then all the oxygen goes out, and it's basically a big frozen tube with nothing guiding it.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just thought that was really good that he caught that. That's like amazing when you see it, because they said it looked like a phone. But he had a problem because his backup charger or something was in a different pocket, and he goes, "Why wouldn't that be with it?" Like that was his trigger that got him to go, "Maybe I should look into this."
So someone put it in some other guy's bag? Is that what you're saying?
No. He had, you know how you have your charger if your phone goes dead?
No, I got a new bag. I can't find my charger.
He had a backup, like a battery backup pack.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I don't have a phone. Who gives a shit? But he said it was weird that wouldn't be with the phone. That was the only thing that he caught. And I was like, okay, that was about as scary as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, how much free time do you have, sir?
That sounds fishy. Like, who? I never have my like charger with my phone because I'm always just shoving everything in my backpack at the last minute. I never know where it is.
No, exactly. Like, your headphones were all tangled, so I thought
a TSA guy trying to get a promotion.
I don't know. I think he got one.
I think he set it all up.
He wants a job in Dubai.
And he was like, "Listen, Raj, I have a plan to get a promotion. You're going to have to take a hit."
Mm-hmm. Just do this last guy and then go on lunch. Got
it. Totally jaded.
Yeah.
Hey, so last week we were talking about airport series. Airport 79 or whatever, and we were talking about Earthquake and Poseidon Adventure, all those thrillers, Irwin Allen. Well, I got
movies that will all be remade with The Rock.
Oh yeah, well,
right answer.
Well, the guy I was thinking about, we were talking about looters and stuff. I think that was based on some of the stuff that was coming out of Florida last week. But there was a guy who was saying, it's like, no, he was like for the National Guard, and he was in one of the Earthquake movies, and he was a guy in the National Guard, and he was kind of like this guy who's like kind of ripping people off and trying to scam chicks and stuff like that while he was, trying to protect the city. Well, I went and I go, what the fuck was that guy's name? And the movie was Earthquake, and it was out in 1974. Well, that guy who I was talking about his name is Marjoe, a combination of Mary and Joseph. If you see where I'm going here, his name is Marjoe Gortner, and I had I mean, it was exactly who I was thinking of, and that was the movie. But he won an Academy Award for a documentary he did in 1972, where he was an evangelist that was traveling the circuit. And this documentary was him going back into the scene for a year to get back into it in 1971. And then they did the movie. It came out in 72 of him getting back into it and him talking frankly about the fucking business and how to trick people and how to scam them and what people do in the business of these traveling tent shows. It was fucking amazing. He'd been an evangelist since he was like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah, I'm looking at his Wikipedia. It says when he was 4, his parents had him ordained because of his incredible speaking abilities.
Oh my god, it's insane. He says he would be acting in front. I don't. There's video. I'll put the YouTube links up. But he's talking and he goes, "Yeah, well, my mom, when I was doing something where I'm acting in front of the camera to like to proselytize." What mom or dad would say, praise Jesus. That means, speak louder. Or it's like, glory be. It's like, now's the time to hit them for the money. They had all these fucking codes and he's telling everything. He's counting money on a bed and like rolling around in it going, this is how it's done. It is fucking so good. And everything you suspect when you see these fuckers, begging for money on TV. It says
by the time he was 16, his family had amassed what he later estimated to be $3 million.
Yeah.
Shortly after his 16th birthday, his father absconded with the money.
That is how you do it. And they prayed for him to come back.
Yeah. Well, it's God's will, right? Right, Marjoe? But yeah, I love I didn't see the movie yet, but it's definitely one I want to watch. I love the scammers and the scams and all that shit.
Yeah, but when the kid gets ripped off like that, he's like, I don't believe in anything now.
Well, he had to go back. I mean, he knew it was a fucking business. It was a family business. It's like fucking gypsies with their asphalt biz, They know what the scam is. They're not thinking that this is somehow things just keep going wrong for these people that they rip off. I mean, they know what they're doing when they're going into this.
They go back to the same house the next year. Yeah, whoever did the last job really fucked you.
Oh, that guy fucked you. Oh, they're probably that brash. Yeah, that was the guy I was talking about. I just wanted to recap on that one. I'll put links in the show notes too because that was fucking awesome. But the movies though, John, that you should look into, Becker, you'll remember these. Irwin Allen was the one who did a bunch of those natural disaster movies. Yeah. And that was, yeah.
I just remember Volcano from the 90s with, Tommy Lee Jones. And there's like a volcano.
I remember Volcano from the Brady Bunch.
The real volcano.
Yeah. What is that? It's you wouldn't know. We're talking around you.
Brady Bunch went to Hawaii, John. You see, Brady Bunch was a second time around family.
First time exposed to divorce.
Yeah. the Mike and
two families
Carol.
commingled, and yet they never fucked. It was weird.
Was it divorce, or did they ever talk about how they were divorced, or did they just like single parents who got together and they never said why they were single?
Well, I mean,
they had to be dead if you think about it, because there was no visitation.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they lost custody. Ever think of that?
The first Mrs. Brady may be in jail, incarcerated, and never wrote a note.
That would be great. Yeah, do a show about the other two parents.
Yeah.
I like to think they were both murdered, and it's two like black widows coming together to raise their kids.
That is so weird. I never thought about. I mean, I used to watch the Brady Bunch every day. I never thought about what happened to the other parents.
No, I couldn't figure out why
they had to be dead.
Why Lucy and Desi never slept in the same bed?
Yeah, well, Lucy's probably got the Jimmy leg. Shaking around.
Snoring.
Yeah. But let's be honest, Ricky always had someone else in the other room. Wait a minute here. They never ever even spoke of the other, the spouse that's left behind. They never spoke about the other parents.
Nope. You were not even allowed to bring it up. This is your real dad now?
There was never any kind of, oh my God, this is crazy.
Like,
there was never any kind of like, hey dad, I miss mom. What, Carol? No, you know, my mom, the one who gave birth to me. I mean, there was never any talk about that.
We got to do a new remake of this and just have it like by today's standards, and they'd just all be on their phones. They wouldn't even talk. They'd be like, I don't care. 3 new kids moved in. Who gives a shit?
Oh, Jan would be on opioids big time. Yeah. Totally. One of them would be in jail, right?
Oh, everybody's like wearing colored bracelets.
Peter was a school shooter.
Cindy's got an ankle bracelet.
Bobby's trying to get attention with theater.
Oh my God, I can't. That's fucking blowing my mind right now. Never addressed. Never fucking addressed that.
Yeah, that show's garbage.
Oh my God, what a different time.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, things change.
Did you guys read the story about the mad pooper, the jogger running around?
The mad what?
In Colorado, there's a hunt going on for a jogger who has been caught multiple times shitting in a lady's yard.
Like making dirt like a dog or something?
Yeah.
No, like taking a deuce right in front of their house, and she confronted her one day, and she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. It happens," and then takes off. She thinks she's so embarrassed that she'd never even go down the street again. Nope. About once a week, she takes a shit in these people's yard.
Wait, a gal? This is a gal doing it?
Yeah. Your typical running looking, yeah.
So this is like a targeted attack on a family.
And this is one of those things where you want a glass ceiling, not a glass floor. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I have seen bum shit on the street before, and it's disturbing. I mean, you could tell it's not a dog, or you know, it's not from a pet or a stray animal.
I just want to know what the police are doing. Where they said, well, you know, if he continues, we could get charged. She could be charged with indecent exposure. I mean, it's an ongoing thing. I got an idea. Why don't you just wait on the street for fucking once?
Yeah,
and just maybe catch her. I mean, they have pictures of her.
Yeah. So, like, they might give her, like, a $45 fine or whatever you get for indecent exposure. Like, meanwhile, these people, like, have a neighborhood that's, like, now known for, like, where people shit in their yard. Like, that's, like, a thing you have to tell people if they plan on buying your house. That's
I know. Like, I have lead in my ceiling tiles, and there's a lady who shit down.
We have a recidivist shitter.
Oh, you mean about the lead? No, the shit part. What was the shit part?
Nothing. The neighbors will fill you in at the
and not only that, but now you're going to get copycats.
Yeah.
You know, people that'll drop up, just get out, take a shit, go, I'm not a runner.
I mean, forget the indecent exposure, just the fucking not picking up after your pet. That's probably a bigger fine.
Well, I think she could get out on a technicality. She could get out on that one.
How?
No pets. Where's the dog?
She's not picking up after the business. I think. Oh man, that's fucking disgusting.
This sounds. Yeah. This
she's got a mental. Like, she's fucking mental.
She's an ex, right? She's like the husband of the wife's whose house it is. Like that's her, like his ex-girlfriend or something.
No, that's what they said. There's no contact. They don't know who it is. But then other neighbors have said it's happening to them too. So apparently she sits every day in a different spot.
Show me the husband. I want to see a shot of the husband. Like,
maybe
no idea who she is.
Maybe she's just maybe she's just got this real fascination with Kentucky bluegrass.
Maybe she's training for a marathon and she's trying to stay consistent. Like at mile 17, I take a shit no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, and that would be funny if it was a time distance thing. Maybe No, she just wants to shit on this lady's lawn. That's all it is. I mean, the way the world is now, there'll be some whole thing of like some big, like convoluted bullshit excuse when it is really her I just don't like the fucking look of that lady. I like shitting on her lawn. Look how fucking crazy she gets.
No, the way the world is now, they're going to make a show around this.
Yeah, totally.
Flip this shit.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably set up.
My big fat greasy lawn shit.
I think people have like figured out how to go viral. They're like, here's what we do. We set up a story where you're shitting on my lawn and we have a hunt. People are hunting for you.
Yeah.
He eats bizarre foods from all over the world.
I thought it was odd in the same news story. The lady whose lawn was getting shit on, she also was trying to sell some Juicero Wi-Fi juicers. So.
I've been shit on twice. The hurricanes. Here's the deal: the hurricanes, they move so slow. It's a very hard news story because they're just like, it's gonna be catastrophe in about 3 days. And you're like, oh, you kind of opened the package early on Christmas, didn't you?
Well, yeah. When they show that one clip, they usually just burn it in the corner, and it's the hurricane moving, and it looks like it moves an inch on the screen. That's like 24 hours. It's just that's the way they move. They move slow. So the actual the clip they're giving us is the most current, but it's only moving a couple, like 8 miles, 10 miles an hour. So it doesn't look like it's very devastating.
No. Joe Vernon could outrun this thing.
Have you seen I think it's CNN that has like so their like hurricanes graphics package is like the lower third of the screen just like looks like water. It's all water. Mm-hmm. So I'll like walk by it. Somebody will have that on TV at work and I'll walk by and I'm constantly thinking like the reporter is like standing like waist deep in water.
Yeah.
Very misleading.
Yeah, these packages, they really try and spice them up, though. That's for sure. I mean, this one is it says breaking news, and it's a new Category 5 storm approaching Puerto Rico. And it's burned in. It's in the bottom half and on the right hand side above the icon, that little live CNN. And it's like breaking news, but no one's addressing it. It's just that same thing where the hurricane moves an inch to the upper left-hand corner, and that's it. Yeah. And it's just staying there the whole time. Like there's nothing else is going to happen. That's it. And that will be there for the next hour.
Yeah, but the other thing is there's another one out there, Lee, and they think Lee's just going to peter out, but now they burned the name Lee. You're like, whoa, no, do over. Like, misdeal. Mulligan.
Do either of you know how they come up with the names?
Yeah, they have a list. You can actually see it. It's, again, a bunch of scientists get together and pick them. But that's when they got mad because they said, you're using all Anglo-Saxon names. So now that's why we got Jose's and Maria's. What are you going to do with a girl like Maria? They wanted other names. And I was like, all right, Ching-Ling Sue's coming. I mean, why would you want your name associated with death and destruction?
But do they pick out the name in advance? Like the whole year, the alphabet is already picked out?
Yeah, you can find the list online.
Oh, okay.
I can tell you what the next one's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be Eduardo.
I'll wait till I see it breaking news. For
a lot of people like the surprise.
Yeah. We got bets on it.
But they do alternate male, female, male, female, male, female.
Yeah.
Because apparently the gender thing isn't caught on yet.
Oh, God.
Just be a generic name.
Well, let me give a plug really quick to the other podcast that I work for. The Doug Stanhope podcast. We've been invited to the October 26th through the 29th. All Things Comedy is doing a comedy festival in Phoenix at the Orpheum Theater. We will be performing the Doug Stanhope podcast live in front of an audience on October 26th, and I hope you guys can make it. It'll be fun.
Well, I'm in.
I know you're making. Yeah,
I'm like an 80% right now.
What
80%?
What do we do? How do we fix this, John?
What's it take? You want it red? We got it in red.
I just got to book tickets.
All right.
Yeah, and they're very reasonable right now, John. Kick yourself if you don't take advantage of this.
I have a shoot earlier that week, so I'm trying to figure out how I can get down there on like Wednesday.
Yeah.
And hang out until like Saturday.
Well, if you can get, we're going to drive up, John.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
We could figure something out, I'm sure.
Well, I didn't want to like show up in like flying to Tucson and show up in there. Everyone's like, oh yeah, they all went to Phoenix.
No, what you're going to do is you're going to fly into Phoenix with a one-way ticket, and then you're going to book a one-way ticket out of Tucson. I thought about that after you left. I was like, yeah, book out of Tucson when you leave, and then I'll drive you to Tucson.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, maybe you guys should coordinate something here.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, he was thinking flying to Phoenix, and then he'd be in Phoenix, or fly into Tucson, they'd be stuck in Tucson. I go, no, just come in one, go out the other, and the ticket price is the same.
Yeah. And then there's always Bisbee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always Bisbee.
And then I really don't know anything about it other than the date right now and that the tickets are for sale. I think there should be a link on DougStanhope.com. If not, it'll be up by the time this goes out. But I don't know what we're doing, as far as, cause I have the set from when we did the podcast at the Royale, but Doug doesn't want to take that out to Phoenix. So I don't know what we're doing or how we're doing it, but, Doug's got a really good surprise guest, and, we got some, Chad Shank will be out there, and everyone else from Bisbee will more than likely be out there.
I'll go for Chad. I'm going for Chad.
Are we going to spend the night?
Oh yeah.
Are we staying at the casino?
I haven't even, that's what I was going to say, is I don't even know about accommodations, because I don't know where the Orpheum is, but, we have a couple of favorite places we'd like to be out there. And of course, you and I and Tracy and, your lovely wife, Becky, we do like to stay at the, casino out there in Phoenix as well. So we'll figure something out. And I mean, the whole weekend will be, there's Becker, Kreischer's doing a podcast out there. Bill Burr's doing a podcast at the thing. There's a ton of people on the bill that are performing the entire weekend. So I think, I'll put all that up on a page on on Doug's site, and then we'll put something up, we'll put some stuff up in the show notes as well. So, but it's coming up, and we just got to get through this tour, and we got a couple days to figure it out when we get home. So yeah, you guys figure it out, man. October 26th is our performance, but we'll see what's going on. Make a weekend of it.
It's going to be fun. John, you need to get out and see the West.
The West seems pretty stable, I got to see the South before it's flooded.
I want to get you a bolo tie.
Oh yeah. Well,
you and a bolo tie, they'll constantly go, no NPR here. Sorry, sir.
Well, I don't have anything else, guys, other than, we got dates. We're running through Florida right now, and then back to Bisbee. Did you see the Arizona guy that was rolling around with a rattlesnake? He was going to cook it. What? Yeah, he was an Arizona man, and they have photographs from this barbecue. He caught a rattlesnake, and he was going to put it on the grill, but unfortunately, before he could get it on the grill, it bit him in the face, and now he's had like 30 injections of... That's bad news, man. Yeah, because, it swelled up his neck, and they said, face ones are usually about 90% fatal because it swells your throat shut, but they gave him a quick tracheotomy with that barbecue skewer, and... Luckily, this wasn't the first time he'd been bit by a rattlesnake, so he knew exactly what to do. Yeah, and the best part was he said, I don't think I'm going to handle rattlesnakes anymore. But the photos of him rolling around the yard holding it, being all drunk, is hysterical. Oh, my God. They're like, what could go wrong? And then you see his face all blackened and fucking... Yeah, that's what happens. It just the skin just starts erupting. We were just at the Dallas Zoo last week.
He looks like he's having so much fun rolling around with the rattlesnake. I think he's going to do it again.
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to.
I can't quit you.
Never say forever.
Yeah. Well, but we were at the Dallas Zoo, and we went into the herpetologist fucking enclosure, and there were just so many just badass snakes. But then they always have, before you go in there, they have some kind of display about how wicked it is to get bit by a poisonous snake, and just what happens. If you get bit in the leg, it just starts ballooning up and just rupturing all over. It's fucking disgusting. Because in Arizona, there's snake warnings all over, especially, in certain times of the year where they're out. And it's not a problem for you guys up in in Anchorage, but in Arizona,
we don't have snakes. Actually, we don't have snakes.
Yeah,
we've reduced it down now just to bears and mosquitoes.
Yeah,
those are the two, small and big.
But your mosquitoes they're slowing down, right? You guys are starting to get cold up there, aren't you?
We're getting really cold, actually.
Yeah.
It's
it was a good year for no mosquitoes. There weren't a lot of mosquitoes out in the Anchorage area.
But what do you attribute that to?
The water stayed frozen.
Yeah, we didn't have a summer. Like all we did was skip having a summer, and then we didn't have mosquitoes.
Oh, lucky. Well, right now it's 87 degrees in Pensacola. Partly cloudy. I mean, it did rain earlier, but it is humid as fuck, man. It is. We were in Mobile, Alabama last night, and I was outside running the door, and man, it was hot. And I look up, and there's a ceiling fan, and it's not on. I'm like, what do we have to do to get that thing? Well, it's unplugged. Well, what? I mean, wouldn't that always be on? It's an enclosure. Why would anyone unplug it?
The ceiling fan was unplugged?
The ceiling fan was unplugged, and then it's like, well, we need a ladder, and the show's already going. No one's getting a fucking ladder. And it's at the entrance to this thing, and I'm like, well, it's too tall. Like, even standing on like a high back chair, you wouldn't be able to reach it, And it's like, who fucking unplugged that thing?
Yeah,
What's
it
going
blows
on?
the cocaine all over the place.
That could be it, yeah. Yeah, so I was sitting out in the for like an hour and a half, and I mean, I wasn't digging a ditch or anything. I was just standing there, and I was just sweating. I mean, I was wearing a full on suit, but it was hot, man. That humidity is brutal.
Oh, sorry, my dogs are going nuts.
All right,
God damn it!
What are you doing to them?
What happened?
I'm pointing a gun at them, and I'm going to attach a leash.
I think they're reacting appropriately to having a gun pointed at them.
It's a game we play. It's cool. It's fine.
Toys R Us is bankrupt.
Haven't they been going in and out of like some financial strife over the past 10 years?
I mean, kids don't even play with toys anymore. I don't know. I don't understand how they survived this long.
I never got the Babies R Us thing. Seems like they spent way too much time on those.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Like, couldn't that just be a small little wing of the Toys R Us? It could be the Babies R Us. It has to be a whole store on its own.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about. Was just turning into Babies R Us, and then you just and so yeah, I'm not sure exactly how you change your marketing, and just all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, we don't have that, but we do have mobiles.
Yeah, it just seems like kind of went a little too far outside of their wheelhouse there.
It feels like their audience is getting older. They don't want to go back. They need to start selling stuff that teenagers like.
People are still having babies, right? I guess.
Well,
no. Apparently, we're sterile now. There's something in the water or the food that has caused low fertility rates all across the world, and they're not sure what. And I said it might be those robot makers doing it.
Yeah, well, the guys at Babies R Us, they couldn't foresee that. Come on. It's not their fault.
Open a Robots R Us.
Yeah, Robots R Us. Yeah, conversely, they are actually doing really well. Robots R Us are doing great.
It's definitely not the fact that I have my like cell phone receiving like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and cell signals like 6 inches from my testicles all day.
That's been proven wrong when those executives all died of brain cancer.
Have you guys ever seen the Andy Dick show? Remember his like old sketch show? He had a really great bit about cell phones causing cancer, where it was like a cell phone executive like talking to the camera like, I can definitively say cell phones do not cause tumors. And then he like turned his head because somebody said something off camera. He had like a giant tumor behind his ear.
That's weird. I've never seen that show. I wonder if it's online.
I don't know. I may have dreamt it like a fever dream.
It may be one of those ones they scrub completely, where you can't find it anywhere. Like the old Bill Cosby, the Fat Albert. Bill Cosby like had that, like, it's taken down everywhere. You can't have it. It's not.
Oh yeah,
full episodes are not available anywhere, which is weird. That was classic, man. And they also made a movie after the fact, right? Like later on, they did a movie. Are you
talking about Fat Albert?
Fat Albert. Didn't they do a live action?
Anywhere?
The old cartoon one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't stream that anywhere.
Nope. They took it down because it's too rapey. Oh, did you see Kevin Hart? Kevin Hart.
I saw something about he made some formal apology to his family, his wife.
Yeah, it was one of those extortion things. Some stripper basically got video of him, and I don't know. Anyway, he's trying to extort money from him, and he went to the FBI like you should do anytime they try that.
Yeah. But
then he realized it was going to get out, so he apologized before they announced that they were going after an extortion charge on the stripper. But I thought his quote was fantastic because he said, "I don't think anyone should benefit financially from my mistakes." That's why
he already did once, right?
Well, the point was, I go, well, I think he should technically give my money back then for Ride Along 2. Because that was definitely a mistake on his part, and somebody's gaining from it, is what I'm saying. So, come clean, mister.
We're with you.
I wonder how often these celebrity blackmail schemes actually work out.
A ton. Do you remember the one that was what's his name? Beretta.
Robert Blake.
When he shot that woman, she was busy hustling like 3 other celebrities. One was Marlon Brando's kid. She was trying to claim he got her pregnant. And
oh, wow.
I'm like, do they just fuck every pig that's out there? I don't know. That woman was so hideous looking. I was like, I guess Beretta, he's older.
What was Brando's son's name? He ended up killing himself, didn't he?
I think he did eventually after everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back when Hollywood was fun. How about those Emmy Awards? Was that exciting? Did you watch them, Greg?
No. We were traveling. We had a show that night, so I know Spicer was on it. We saw some Twitter updates about that, but I really haven't even looked for it.
Did you watch it, John?
No. I read some stuff about it.
I thought it was a good summary of it when they said, they did one Trump joke. Mm-hmm. That was it was a one act, and they just kept doing it. And I was like going, I get it. Do something else. Make fun of somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not like there's no one to make fun of in the TV and movie arena, right?
Right. I mean, it's Hollywood, for God's sakes. If you can't poke fun at Hollywood, who are you going to poke fun at? China?
I mean, I saw the stuff that came through the next day, like who wore what, like who had too much skin, who was wearing something fashionable. You wouldn't believe what she wore under this. But I mean, that's what comes through on the the front page of Yahoo News and stuff like that.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus won. She won like almost half of them. So it's good that they got diversity.
I do like Veep. Veep is really good. I don't know if you watch that show. No.
I think I'm in a lull between shows. I think I'm gonna start watching Veep.
Yeah, Veep's a good one, but you gotta go back. I mean, right now she's not the president and she's out of office, but there's some back history you got to get because you got to see how she got in there to begin with, because there's a lot of callbacks, especially at the end of this season. They go back to some of the things that happened early on. I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, that's a good show. Well written. I mean, it's
as
funny.
far as not being president, not being in office, Hillary Clinton could just shut up, for God's sake. Just shut up. Oh my God.
Are you talking about her book?
I'm talking about her.
Oh.
I mean, she's complaining. She's blaming everyone but herself.
Well, like, I mean,
what went wrong? You went wrong.
Well,
you took an unlosable race.
She took credit for just not doing enough I mean, she definitely takes credit for not running the race the way she should have to win.
She's blaming the Russians. The Russians can't influence you. Really, you thought your Facebook feed somehow caused you to be hypnotized to go to the ballot and go, I can't stand her voice, and it sounds like she's lying.
Wow. She cranked that fucking book out quick, eh?
He was completely incompetent, and you lost to him. You don't write a book about that. You try to forget it. You drink a lot. You just,
oh, dude.
I should run into a bar and hear these examples.
I wonder how much she got. She probably a multi-million-dollar book deal for that.
Do you think she wrote the book, or do you think it was like ghostwriters? Do you think she just kind of like had like a couple of long phone conversations with a couple of writers? And
well, she, I mean, going all the way back when Bill was president, you've got people that are cataloging what's happening, especially when you're president. Everything you do is written down. And then you always know that you will be having a couple of book deals coming your way when you're out of office. So you're preparing for that along the way. And I don't think that she would do anything different. She was probably cataloging everything, knowing that once she became the first woman president, that this would all be valuable information. Well, now she didn't win. So now she's still got all this information. So she changed the ending a little bit.
It does feel like she maybe should have taken some more time, because just like calling the book like What Happened is like, that's like when you write an email that you definitely should have like slept on.
Well, hold on a second. Strike when the iron's hot, my young friend John. You strike when the iron's hot, because right now nothing's happening in the government. Trump is unable to get anything happening, and they're
what are you talking about? He's deporting people. He's stopping people from coming here.
He ain't doing
stock
shit.
Market's doing the best it's ever done in history.
He's threatening all of North Korea. Like, that's
in one speech.
Look, he picked on Venezuela today. He's like, yeah, Venezuela, we'll come fix it. We might be coming down there. You never know.
Oh, I stand corrected. He's done so much. So I think that, her rushing to market with that before anything could happen is probably just another strategy. And I'm
just saying, if she would have slept on it, she may have had like some sort of like inspiring tale of like, you know, putting her life back together after like the most embarrassing loss in history.
Well, that's probably going to be the next book.
She could have called it Shit Happens and sold hats. And then that lady could jog by the house with a Shit Happens hat and go, see, shit happens.
Just look up in the camera, the yard camera, and point at the hat.
Still protested the election. You listened to another episode of Near the Wild. I'm Matt Becker, sitting in the yard on a nice, overcast, sunny day.
And I am John Norris, refusing to go outside again until next summer.
And I'm Ggreg Chaille in Pensacola, Florida, headed straight for that hurricane, wherever it may be. Don't fucking back away. Head on.
Head on. Puerto Rico's coming.
You've been listening to the Near the Wild podcast with Matt Becker, John Norris, and Ggreg Chaille. Recorded in Anchorage, Alaska on Matt Becker's Backyard Bus. Produced and engineered in Bisbee, Arizona by Chaille.